Hoping Delta is reviewed as well as RE4 Remake was. It's possible they played it too safe, but their communication has definitely been better than Konami of old. I don't know, man. That's actually something that I do want to mention today that I want to talk about is, yes, for sure. Like, I agree. It's been better. Konami's communication has been better now than it has been the last decade or so, like since Survive and all that debacle. But they started off strong, but we're at the point where it's right back to being kind of like how it was all these years in the past. While they started off strong, they had the Hotline Productions, they had the legacy videos with David Hayter, and those are still really cool. I'm not taking anything away from them. We're at the point now where you guys have to think. So the last Hotline production was finally released after 9 months. So before this last production Hotline we got, it's been 9 months since they put out a video like that. And a little bit before that, they put out the legacy video where they talked about the new intro, the re-recording of the Snake Eater theme. They showed Cynthia Harrell, David Hayter, Lori Allen, and a couple of community members like Ruby and Maul, the two cosplayers. That was cool seeing all that, but no real new info on Delta other than, you know, the new song and everything, which was cool to see, and I appreciate that type of stuff. Before that, like I said, we hadn't gotten anything in over 8 months, almost 9 months. And we still, and this is the main point that I want to talk about today while we play this and we test out this randomizer. We still, if you guys think about it, we still have not gotten any gameplay, just uncut, unfiltered, like extended gameplay. We've seen a couple of cool little set pieces, like we've seen Snake fight Volgan. We've seen the improved CQC, like the newer CQC animations. And we've seen little, like, tiny little seconds, not even seconds, of, like, boss fights that were, like, shot and captured in a way where it's more cinematic than the fight is actually going to be in the game. So I don't know if it's just me coming off of the Fox Hunt reveal and being kind of, like, soured by that. It kind of worries me that we haven't seen any gameplay, really. If you really think about it, if you really sit there and think about it, we really haven't seen any real extended gameplay, and I wonder why that is. Like, I don't want to be the doomer all the time now because I'm kind of like upset about Fox Hunt, but I don't know. It's kind of worrying, right? They just recently showed another clip of the what do you want to call it, the legacy, I guess, and the modern control layouts, but it's the same exact footage that they used for the initial release of the modern and legacy layouts from over a year ago in 2024. Oh shit, I got the scorpion. They showed off, like, you know, on Twitter or on social media in general, they showed off the side by side. Here's the modern controls and here's the legacy controls and how they look side by side. And so, like, that was cool to see a year ago because it was like, oh my god, you know, like, they're improving the controls and look at the camera, it's even better than the subsistence camera. But since then, we haven't seen, like, here's 10 minutes, here's the Virtuous mission, what I'm doing right now. Here's a Virtuous mission, uncut. Maybe we'll cut out the cutscenes to leave that new for the new players, and for the returning players like us who want to see, like, the cutscenes for the first time when they actually get the game, all remade and all prettied up. I understand that if they don't want to show cutscenes, but why haven't we seen gameplay? It's very easy to do what I'm doing here and just show the Virtuous mission, skip all the cutscenes, and then cut the demo, the trailer, whatever you want to call it, right when Snake and Sokolov get to the bridge. Boom, done. There's your extended look at gameplay. You can mess around in Razvet, where I'm at now. You can show off, like, here's a run in Razvet, taking out all the soldiers in the modern control scheme, and then they cut, and here's a demo of doing it in legacy controls, how you all remember that played back in 2004. Little nice 10-15 minute demo. The main thing that I'm concerned about is the gameplay, to be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's just me worrying and just, like, I'm kind of sensitive now because of the whole Fox Hunt shit, but it does worry me that we're just about the 2-month mark away from the game coming out. We still haven't gotten, like, an extended look at gameplay. You know what I mean? Yeah, they kind of dropping the ball and showing off why the game will be worth it compared to... Exactly, right? So we already have what I'm playing now, which is the Master Collection version of the game. You could also emulate the game for years now on a PS2 emulator or even a PS3 emulator if your PC is good enough. So, like, if you wanted to play Snake Eater, there's been plenty of ways to play it. If you have a PS3, you have the Legacy and HD collections. Same thing with Xbox, right? So you have plenty of options. You have to show off one of the main features of the new remake, which is the modern controls, like, scheme, and also the option for us old players like me to play with our legacy controls if we want to, right? It's so weird to me that 2 months removed from the game, they still haven't shown off any gameplay, like any actual gameplay with weight to it, you know, where you can actually see the differences of, like, holy shit, the camera, you know, look how smooth it is, look how snappy the aim and responsive the aiming is. They haven't shown that off, and we're just over 2 months away from the game. That doesn't really, like, usually when games do that, it's not really a good sign. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to get ahead of myself, especially because they do have a demo. Like I said, if you're in New York or near New York City, they are going to have a demo August 6th, which I think is a Wednesday, in Midtown in Manhattan, where you can sign up and play the game and test it out. But here's the thing. Oh, and I forgot to mention this when I initially brought this topic up. That event, it strictly says at the bottom, you are not allowed to record at all in any way, shape, or form. No phones are going to be allowed. You cannot have your phone out while you're playing. You can't have your friend record over your shoulder. Like, absolutely no recording, video recording is allowed at the event. So yet again, that's another reason why I'm kind of like, they really don't want us to see this game just being played, which I hate to be this guy because I'm super hopeful about Delta, but I don't know, guys. Like, it doesn't really breathe any air of like confidence in me, if that makes sense. I hate to be a doomer like the last 2 streams, but I don't know. Ihand, yeah, the Fury boss fight. I heard a lot of people talking about that. Yeah, I kind of agree. That fight is supposed to be only really illuminated by the Fury's, you know, the Fury's flamethrower and the flames that he kind of like, he sets the map on fire, and that's like your illumination. So it's kind of like a kiss curse, you know what I mean? Like, obviously the fire is kind of like area denial for you and Snake, but it also helps you see a little better. So I kind of like that about that fight. But yeah, it does look kind of a bit too bright, but that's easy to fix, right? That's an easy fix compared to just like the gameplay being trash in general. Yeah, AI kernel, that might have just been for the trailer though. This is what I mean, like, there's so many what ifs still, and we're like 2 months from the game releasing, so it's like, I don't know. Am I just being a doomer, guys? Because you can tell me if I'm being too harsh on the game now, because that very well, it might be the case, and I can admit that. Historically, when a game doesn't show off gameplay, because at the end of the day, yes, this game is cinematic and everything, and it's a masterpiece, but it is still a video game. So when they don't show gameplay, I don't know, it's kind of worrying. And they still have time, right? But like, it's been like 3 years since this game got announced, like 2.5 or something like that. And we haven't really seen like a lick of gameplay. The most gameplay we've seen is actually from like the pre-alpha footage where Snake is like crawling through the mud and everything. My thoughts about Fox Hunt not being released day 1. I mean, I kind of expected that, to be honest with you. It's kind of sad, but I kind of fully expected that to be the case, the way that they were talking about the team is hard at work, and the fact that they didn't what is this? Oh, bone fractured. The fact that they didn't show us the you know, any extended gameplay of that either. I was like, oh, okay, so we're not seeing this at launch. But what worries me now is that they didn't even give us like it'll be out shortly after Delta, it'll be out a month after Delta, it'll be out, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, stay tuned for more details about when you can expect it, and it's just like, ugh. All right, man. And there's still another and more, by the way, which, I mean, I'm 95% sure that it's going to be boss duel, which, all right, cool. You know, another mode that extends your time, more bang for your buck, I guess. I'm not going to complain about another mode, you know. Definitely weird how there's no real gameplay demo, and even at the pop-up event, no recording of gameplay. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. We've seen, like, the multiple instances of CQC happening. We've seen some of the boss fights. Like, we had that shot of the Pain firing with his Tommy gun at Snake in the cave and everything. Like, we've seen little snippets of gameplay, but we haven't had like an uninterrupted, you know, the Phantom Pain, Sean Eyestone voiceover style trailer for gameplay yet. And people have told me, like, why do you want that since everybody knows what Snake Eater is already? Like, it's Snake Eater just prettier. And it's like, sure, if you want to like minimize it and see it that way, that's fine. But it does worry me when not just Delta, but other games, they're coming out, you know, releases around the corner and they haven't shown extended gameplay. That's why I was so happy that they showed off, like, you know, a hero's way. They showed the different ways that you could tackle that mission from Phantom Pain. And I think Delta would benefit from something like that. I mean, I think they should just full stop release a demo of the Virtuous mission. Maybe have it so you can, there's no cutscenes. It's literally just the Virtuous mission without cutscenes. I don't know how they do that, but they can figure it out. And then it just cuts once you get to the bridge with Sokolov. Just ends. Thank you for playing. We hope to see you pick up Delta August 28th, early access August 26th, blah, 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 blah. And it links to the pre-order, whatever, right? At the very least, show us some gameplay.